Hey, my friends, how are you? Welcome to another video full of information, but without any fuss here at Home Race, where we will now talk about the big changes that were announced today at the Red Bull team. But first of all, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any details of the 2024 Formula One season and this race weekend. And if you like this video, leave a like to support our work. Well, let's talk a little about Red Bull, which has recently lost several important members, both from its technical team and its management team, with one of the changes that forced them to take action being that of sporting director Jonathan Wheatley, who recently announced that he will be leaving the team to take a position at the future Audi team. With that, shortly after his departure, Red Bull announced that to fill this and other vacancies that were left without a representative, they would not hire anyone from outside, but would try to promote people who were already on the team to take on these positions. And so on Wednesday, Red Bull announced a number of changes, most of them to cover Wheatley's departure, with his role as sporting director being split and several of his duties being shared between team members. For example, Max Verstappen's engineer Giampiero Lambiase, who recently renewed his contract, has now been promoted to chief race engineer, with Lambiase now responsible for the team during races as well as the construction of the cars, the smooth running of the race strategy team, and also the sporting regulations. Lambiase will report to Pierre Watch, technical director, with Steve Knowles, who is currently head of strategy engineering, becoming head of sporting affairs, focusing on all things to do with the regulations. Another new role is Rick Wolverson, who was a senior engineer but will now be head of race operations, responsible for the day-to-day operations of the team, not only in Formula One, but also in the events promoted by Red Bull Racing around the world, where they take their vintage cars to various streets of historic cities to promote the brand. Gerard O'Reilly will now be head of support and logistics, expanding his current role as head of freight operations. And chief mechanic Phil Turner has been promoted to factory operations manager. Oh, still speaking of Lambiase, even though he will be given this new role during race weekends, he will remain as Max Verstappen's race engineer, at least for now, with the team not saying whether someone else might take over this role in the future so that Lambiase can focus on other areas. So, Red Bull has been renewed and restructured after all the departures in recent times. But tell me in the comments, do you think the team will be able to recover from so many important losses in recent times?